Let's uncover more about this story. After a heated argument with Luana's mother, her father mysteriously disappeared. At the time, Luana was only 2 years old. Luana's mother, desperate and distraught, struggled to cope with the pain and shock but knew she needed stability and support to move forward. Within a few weeks of the disappearance, she met Marcos, a man who seemed to offer the security and comfort she so desperately needed. Within less than a year, Luana's mother and Marcos were married. The hasty decision to remarry was driven both by the need for emotional security and financial support. From this union, Laura, Luana's half-sister, was born. Despite the circumstances that led to the rushed marriage, Marcos proved to be a good stepfather, and the family began to reassemble amid the changes. Although Marcos's presence brought some comfort, the shadow of Luana's missing father still loomed over everyone, leaving an indelible mark on their lives. Luana and Laura developed a strong bond from childhood, sharing moments of joy, secrets, and play. However, as they grew older, Laura began to notice how everyone around seemed to admire Luana's beauty and captivating personality. At family events and school parties, it was always Luana who received the most praise and attention. Laura, despite loving her half-sister, couldn't help but feel overshadowed. Small episodes of envy arose when friends commented on Luana's popularity or when adults highlighted her elegance. Laura struggled to carve out her own space and recognition, but Luana's shadow always seemed to be present. These feelings of inadequacy and silent rivalry did not irreparably damage their relationship but created moments of tension and hurt. Laura often tried to hide these feelings, but occasionally envy manifested in small competitions or sarcastic comments. Despite this, their bond remained, sustained by years of affection and camaraderie. Over time, Luana found love with Junior, a charming and dedicated young man who made her feel special in ways she had never experienced before. They met at a mutual friend's party and quickly became inseparable. Their romance blossomed rapidly, and Junior, deeply in love, proposed to Luana. Their happiness was palpable, and a wedding date was set, bringing a glow of joy to the preparations. However, the couple's happiness was not shared by everyone. Junior's mother, a woman with a strong personality and an unyielding desire to control her son's life, disapproved of the relationship from the start. She believed that Laura, Luana's half-sister, would be a much more suitable choice for her son. Laura was the daughter of Marcos, a wealthy man whose financial and social status, in Junior's mother's view, would bring significant advantages to her son's family. Driven by these beliefs, Junior's mother began to scheme to separate the couple. She used every trick in the book, from malicious insinuations to blatant lies about Luana. On several occasions, she organized family gatherings where Laura was present, always making a point to praise Laura in front of Junior. She highlighted Laura's qualities and suggested that she would be a more appropriate choice, emphasizing the prestige and security Laura could bring to Junior's family. Laura, for her part, did not remain a passive observer. She secretly nurtured the idea that Junior could be hers and, recognizing her mother's influence, aligned herself with her strategy. Laura not only observed but also encouraged her mother's maneuvers, expressing her desire to be with Junior and reinforcing the idea that he should reconsider his options. Junior's mother manipulated situations to place Luana in uncomfortable and embarrassing positions, trying to prove that Luana was unworthy of her son. She did not hesitate to question Luana's morality and character, spreading rumors and gossip that tarnished the young woman's reputation. The goal was to make Junior doubt Luana's sincerity and see Laura as a more advantageous option. As the manipulations and lies accumulated, Junior began to see Laura in a new light. Influenced by the constant comparisons and his mother's positive comments, he started to believe that Laura would indeed be the better choice for him. The idea of a more secure and stable future, promised by his mother and reinforced by Laura's constant presence, began to seem appealing. Initially resistant to his mother's influence, Junior began to yield to the pressure. Doubts about the future and the security his mother promised, along with the malicious comments about Luana, started to affect his confidence. He began to question the validity of his love for Luana and to consider Laura as a more suitable alternative. Under this pressure, Junior made the difficult decision to end the engagement abruptly. Luana was devastated by the unexpected decision. She couldn't understand how the love they shared could have crumbled so quickly. Her world collapsed in an instant, and she found herself forced to rebuild her life without the man she loved, without fully comprehending the manipulation that had occurred behind the scenes. Devastated by the end of her engagement, Luana decides to leave everything behind and move to a distant city, seeking a new beginning far from the painful memories. In her new life, she dedicates herself to work with fierce determination, channeling all her pain and frustration into building something meaningful. Luana takes on various jobs, saves every penny, and begins studying investments. One day, while walking down the street, Luana has an unexpected encounter that will change her life forever. Her father, who had disappeared years earlier, finds her. He had been searching for her ever since he learned about her move. Emotionally overwhelmed and confused, Luana finally hears the truth about his disappearance. Her father had left her mother after discovering her affair with Marcos, the man who quickly became her stepfather. Unable to cope with the betrayal and pain, he vanished, believing his absence would be better for everyone. During the years he was away, Luana's father inherited a substantial amount of money from a distant relative, and with it, managed to rebuild his financial standing, becoming a very wealthy man. Feeling guilty for leaving Luana and wanting to make up for lost time, he decides to use his fortune to help her achieve her dreams. With her father's financial support and guidance, Luana starts making smart investments. She quickly learns about the financial and real estate markets, as well as other lucrative areas. Her father, with his experience and knowledge, guides her every step of the way, ensuring her decisions are sound. The combination of Luana's determination and her father's strategic help soon begins to pay off. Her investments flourish, and she builds a substantial fortune. Not only that, but Luana also develops leadership and business skills that transform her into a respected and influential entrepreneur. Over the years, Luana and her father strengthen their bond, rebuilding a relationship that once seemed lost forever. Financial success is just part of the journey. Reconnecting with her father brings an inner peace Luana had never experienced before. Years later, Luana returns to her hometown for her grandfather's funeral. Her arrival causes an immediate stir. Dressed in elegant clothes and driving a luxurious car, Luana is a stark contrast to the devastated young woman who had left years earlier. The air of sophistication and confidence she now exudes leaves everyone surprised and curious to see the woman who was once underestimated and disregarded. News of Luana's return spreads quickly, and the town is abuzz with murmurs and speculation. Her former in-laws and half-sister Laura are particularly stunned to see her so successful. Laura, now a young adult, feels a sharp envy as she observes Luana's success. The image of her sister, surrounded by luxury and prestige, is a constant reminder of the comparisons that haunt her. Laura's envy manifests in forced smiles and indirect comments, trying to downplay Luana's achievements, but her true feelings are visible to those who are attentive. Marcos, Luana's stepfather, is far from the image of success he once had. Poor investments and financial missteps have led him to lose much of his wealth. He and Luana's mother now live with difficulties, struggling to maintain a modest standard of living and face the consequences of their past choices. Their situation is a painful reminder of how quickly life can change and how stability once seemed guaranteed can rapidly unravel. Junior's family also has own difficulties. After the end of his engagement with Luana, fortune seems to have turned against them. Businesses that once thrived began to fail, and the family's financial situation deteriorated rapidly. Junior, now facing the harsh reality of past decisions, carries the pain and regret of having left Luana. The weight of his decision to follow his mother's influence haunts him. He finds himself reminiscing about lost love and the potential for a life that could have been very different. During the stay for the funeral, Luana faces the ghosts of her past with renewed dignity and confidence. She has difficult conversations with those who hurt her, maintaining the stance of someone who has overcome adversities and found her own path. Junior's mother, now visibly regretful and ashamed, tries to justify her past actions. She explains that at the time, she believed she was acting in her son's best interest but now sees the error of her decisions and their repercussions. Luana, with serenity and determination, makes it clear that the past cannot be changed. She reveals that she has learned to forgive but not to forget. Her comments, free of bitterness, highlight that, despite recognizing others' regrets, she no longer relies on their approval or explanations to move forward. Luana no longer allows past mistakes to define her future. Her stance reflects not only her overcoming of difficulties but also the strength and integrity with which she built her new life.